Welcome to Home Team Advantage. I'm Gary
I
Gimetti.
can't laugh anymore. I can't be serious.
And along with Mike Egan.
I said something I wasn't supposed to.
And this is our third take of the day. So
Do you remember where we started?
Yeah, I remember.
Go ahead.
Well, we'll just get into it right now. We mentioned that some stuff is coming up on Monday. The Crescendo Orchestra is playing at the Hibbing High School auditorium at 7 p.m. They will also have some members of the city band joining them in that concert. So it should be a fun night for people who enjoy the orchestra. I mean, and I'm sure the Crescendo kids will be there performing, so you can go watch
Nice.
the younger ones to see how they're developing their techniques and all that stuff with the orchestra. And
I'm waiting for my cue card so I can see what I'm supposed to say and not supposed to say.
well, you did mention. What did you mention?
I
The
just
band.
mentioned that the band is looking to get new uniforms this year. So if anybody's interested in helping the band with financially supporting them, to go to the Hibbing High School band website and they'll have information there how to do that. So
All right, so that was the
their
second thing.
Existing uniforms are 18 years old, and they brought one to the board meeting last night, and I don't know how those kids can wear a wool laden uniform when it's 100 degrees out. They give them credit. So, but yeah, they're going to try to get new uniforms, and they also get some new equipment and they're going to rewrap the trailer with some promotional advertising to help raise money. So,
And new instruments.
some new instruments they're looking at. Apparently, the drum section needs to be replaced. You can only replace the skin so many times on a drum, so they're looking to do that. So I think what they're trying to do, over the last couple of years, the band has kind of dwindled in size, and now over the last 2 years, they've actually increased the number of kids that are participating. And I was not here during the heydays of the band when they had the street dance or the stuff out on the street with the parades and stuff. So where they had X amount number of kids participating. They went to the 61 Rose Bowl. Is that correct, or the later one?
We went in the 80s too.
80s. Okay.
They were over in Sweden for a Vikings game.
Okay.
That was in the 80s, I believe. So yeah, no, it's long overdue, and
Yep.
hopefully, if you want to help out, just go to the website and go to
Mr. Berg. So
go to it's a high school website for band, or
it's a separate website set
okay.
up by the high school band, and they're just looking. I think they're going to talk to a lot of the alumni band members. They're going to talk to different companies and different sponsors throughout the city here to try to get the funding necessary to. And the school has set them up with a $10,000 starting fee to help for matching grants and things like that.
okay, that's a great thing.
So
And then the 100th birthday celebration of Hibbing High School will be held July 6th through the 13th next year. We look forward to that. I was in our second take. We were talking about not necessarily a all class reunion, but I guess you could classify it as an all class
yeah,
reunion.
if you're bringing back, I'm not sure if there is anybody old enough to be part of the original graduating class of Hibbing High School. But it should be nice to see a lot of a lot of events are scheduled. They're going to have the Greyhound Bus Museum is going to be donating rides on the Greyhound buses around, and the Mind View is. I don't know if you've been up there since they remodeled. It's
No, I
really,
have
really
not.
nice up there. So, so that's going to be part of it. And before I forget too, speaking of the band and arts and all that, hats off to the kids that were involved with the Beauty and the Beast presentation that was given this past weekend. Really great performances by everybody. Nice job. So,
Mhm. Yeah, so there's a lot of things going on. You just
besides sports,
have to be aware of them, and I don't know if we do a good enough job communicating that or not, but we will try to do our best to make sure we get that information out
Yep.
to you for however many people watch the show.
and for how long we're going to be here.
Yeah. So, if you want to see this show continue,
Don't say what I said.
yeah, no, I don't know what else to say about that, but we're hoping that
Let's go to Ryan.
we're on for a long time.
Yep.
It's been 7 years.
Let's be honest with it. And you can cut me off on this one too if you want, Ron. But our producer director here has done a fantastic job with HPAT and allowing not only us but the younger kids to do a show and all the different shows that he does on his own and puts them on for people to enjoy. So let's give credit where credit is due and let's support HPAT and hopefully continue a long run. So,
Long run. That's
okay?
right.
Okay.
All right. Well, yeah, we don't have to cut off now for a third take. All right. So, athletics-wise at Hibbing High School,
Maybe I'll get a donut now.
maybe. Yeah, maybe I'll go buy you one after the show.
Oh, by the way, we have
Turtle Mocha.
coffee called Turtle Mocha today. What's in here? A shell?
No. It's like eating like a pecan cluster turtle thing.
A
It's
pecan clustered turtle.
yeah. Whatever.
Is
I
that-
don't know what they
Is
put
that
in
like
there.
a Fanny Farmer thing?
Yeah, one of
Remember
those.
Fanny Farmer?
One of those turtles that they sell you with Fanny Farmer. That's what it is. It's just coffee. So quit
It
making
was
fun
Fanny
of my
Farmer,
coffee.
wasn't it, Candy?
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I think so. Yes.
Hey, you can drink whatever you want. You can come to the show looking like the guy from Rocky. I don't care.
Yeah, we mentioned
Right,
that
Mick?
a second. Yeah. Burgess Meredith.
Yeah.
Girls hockey.
Here we go. Let's get serious.
We after they beat Rock Ridge last week, they played South St. Paul on Friday and lost. It was technically a 2-1 game, but South St. Paul got an empty net goal with like 1 second left, so the final score was 3-1. South St. Paul is ranked very high in the state, I think 5th. So for the young team that Hibbing has, with a lot of 8th graders and 9th graders, that's not a bad showing against a team like that. Last night they played North Shore and won 5-2. They got goals. I know they got a goal from Bobin and Rewerts and Warmbold, and I'm not going to remember the other ones, so I should have probably never said that, but maybe I'll think of it while we're talking here. But again, North Shore, I'll be honest, I've always remembered beating North Shore by 5, 6, 7, or 8 goals. But Coach Hajduk told me that they've had some good games with them in Silver Bay or Two Harbors, wherever they play their games when they go on the road. But North Shore is a senior-laden team, and it showed last night. They were a lot stronger on their skates and their sticks and winning puck battles. And Hibbing never fell behind, but it was tied 1-1 and 2-2. And then we got the 3 unanswered goals to put them away. But North Shore is a lot better team this year, so it's all about respecting your opponent. I mean,
Now
you
they
have
play
to.
tonight.
No, they
Or
don't.
this
They don't
weekend?
play that. They play Friday over in Grand Rapids with the Thanksgiving. I think it's the Lightning tournament. So they'll play Blaine on Friday, and then they'll play White Bear Lake on Saturday. So
Yeah, excuse me. Thanksgiving gets me. I don't know if it's Wednesday, Tuesday, Friday, I don't know what it is anymore.
but the boys hockey team now plays. They open tonight and Wednesday night at Grand Rapids. So hopefully, we'll see. He's got a young team, but now he's got a lot of those guys that are from those state tournament,
Yep, the
state
men,
championship teams. So we'll see how that goes. It's going to be interesting to watch. They are on TV tonight at My 9,
Oh,
if you get that. So that's probably a good plug for My 9, which I shouldn't
yeah,
do.
I think if
but-
you're on cable, it's 126. Is that right, Ron? Or Channel 9?
I don't know, I can check.
So if you want to watch the game, please feel free to do so. Then this weekend they go down to Tria in
Where?
St. Paul, the Tria Center where the Wild practice.
Oh, okay.
And I know they're playing Two Rivers on Friday, and I think it's Matamidi on Saturday
Oh, wow.
down there. So then they come home next Tuesday and go to Cloquet, I believe. And then
That's quite a few games in a 5-day period.
yeah, and then they come back, and on December 5th, they will be doing the Adam Johnson retiring of his jersey, which we can probably talk more about on another show. But they have banners already made up. I guess Nick Provenzino, I think, does the signs. Is
Yep.
that the one?
Nick
Yeah.
signs.
Okay.
Yep.
So he's already got banners made up, and They're going to put the jersey up on. They're going to put it up against the wall, I think, to start on the south end of the building, and then later on, maybe next summer or something, they'll
Eventually hang it.
hang it up in the
Rafters.
rafters and that. And the entire number 7 is retired in Hibbing from high school down to youth hockey. So that's their way of honoring Adam, and
Nice.
yeah, so it should be a fun evening. And he's not gonna, maybe, I don't know if I should be giving stuff away, but he's not, they don't want it to be, he wants to do it like Pittsburgh did it when they honored him. He's going to want people to stand and celebrate and do that instead of having it such a somber.
Just because they're making it more of a joyful evening than a somber evening.
Yes.
Celebrate life. I guess that's
it.
the way to do
So-
it for a young man.
Yep. So that will happen on the 5th. I believe they're playing. They're playing Duluth Denfeld. So I was going to say International Falls, but it is Duluth Denfeld that night. And it's going to be on, and that might be on my 9 as well, because I know Bob Cohn over in Virginia emailed me or texted me. No, he emailed me. I got email and texting screwed up. I'm too old, I guess. But he's gonna come over and broadcast the game the night
nice.
they do that. So
Nice.
it'll go out to all over the region, or however many people get my 9, I guess.
Yeah,
So-
should have him come on the show.
Well,
Hey, do you think they'll hang our sweatshirts from the clothesline out there?
I don't know. Yeah, from the clothesline.
When we're done.
Yeah, no, because you can have my sweatshirt if you want to
Well,
hang
that's
that.
going to the Hall of Fame, isn't
Oh,
it?
all right. What's the Broadcasters
Broadcasters
Hall
Hall of Fame.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's all right then. I'll
You
make
and
sure.
Herb Carneal and Halsey Hall. And
Sure. But okay. Boys basketball started practice Monday. They probably have. I don't know if they have scrimmages this weekend or not, but they'll start soon. Girls basketball had scrimmages Saturday. They must start playing probably next week sometime.
Cherry has got their dynasty rolling.
Cherry, yeah, they'll have their
Pretty
strong
real
team.
favorites, I would assume.
Yeah, Section 7A favorites. Swimming starts, boys swimming starts Monday. I believe we talked about Rainey, didn't we? No, we didn't. Rainey Gibson, I totally almost bypassed that, was the only individual to make it down to state for Hibbing. On prelims on Friday, she swam a minute 79, I think, to make it into the finals. She was either the 11th or 12th, I think the 11th seed, going into the consolation finals on Saturday. And then I believe she swam, I want to say a 57.9 something on Saturday.
Wow.
So it was either 59.7 or 57.9 or something like that. I'm not positive. But she's the first Section 7A butterflyer to ever break a minute in
Yeah,
the
that's
history
great.
of the Section 7.
Her grandmother was telling me that when she comes to the cabin over the summer, that every morning she swims the lake. Wow.
Well,
So,
hey,
and
and
that
she
her goal was to break the minute.
and she's a sophomore,
Yeah.
so who knows what's in store for her as she gets a little bit stronger. And
So how did she end up then?
she ended up 9th, so she
That's
won the
great.
consolation final. So she
Great.
moved up 2 spots. So
Good for her.
yeah. Now, obviously, I think the swimmers all in the championship heat swam a little faster than she did, but hey, she's a sophomore.
Yeah.
And I don't know how old those other girls were, but so congratulations to Rainey for accomplishing that. Hibbing scored 9 points. I think 9th place was worth 9 points.
Oh.
So they finished like in a tie for 33rd at the state level. The only northern team to
Do that.
do that.
Yeah. Well, great.
And Two Harbors also had a girl place in the consolation heat, so they also scored there. But I know Two Harbors is kind of out of our broadcast range. But
You never know. We're on media. We're on internet. We're
we
everywhere.
are.
We're everywhere. We're everywhere.
And I think her name's Bella Imholt, and she's only like an 8th or 9th or 10th grader,
wow.
and she was already in the backstroke. So who knows what that's gonna. There's gonna be some interesting swimming
in the future.
Yeah, because I mean, Rock Ridge had young swimmers, and Rapids had young swimmers, and Mesabi East had young swimmers. So it's all gonna play out in the next couple of years.
So hats off again to Coach Renziano.
Yeah, he and Ross Harvey, can't leave him out of there.
No,
So they both work hard, and they are reaping. Sometimes they reap the benefits of all their hard work.
Right.
So,
let's
I
see.
shouldn't do that on TV, but
What,
yeah.
Rocky, well, he used to do that in the movie.
What's skiing? They're still doing their stuff indoors.
Yeah.
I think they're going to be out, supposedly, allegedly out on the snow by December 2nd.
Well, they were making snow last night, according to WDIO.
Okay.
So,
Well, if it gets cold enough out, it'll work.
speaking of cold enough, nice little ice rink they got here coming into the parking lot.
Oh.
That's the first time. You didn't think about that either.
Oh, you can talk about that.
So,
First time a four-wheel Jeep did a 360.
really?
Vroom.
Wow. Yeah, no, you got to be careful. Like I talked about last week, I'm gun shy now
Oh, right, yeah.
when I go on the highway.
Yeah.
I mean, but that's all right. I'll get over it.
So, should we go to talk about all the way?
Well, I'm trying to think. Well,
Well,
wrestling.
wrestling
Wrestling
just
did
started,
did have. They had a fair amount of wrestlers out.
Good.
A lot of the. I don't know how they're going to be, but he's going to have to start building the program up again. He and Coach Ellis Wojciechowski and Matt Anderson.
Yep.
They're going to have to. They're going to have to start. They have some decent wrestlers. I know Cooper Hendrickson's back and Ian Larrabee's back, and they're both state tournament wrestlers. I don't think Cooper made it last year, but I'm not positive. No, Cooper might have made it last year. I don't want to say anything. He may have made it last year, but he was there the year before. And Ian, I think, placed 6th last year.
You know, those four young ladies that watched us over at the Golden Crest are looking at each other going, do you think he made it? Did he make it? Did Gary say, did he make it? Or he didn't? You got to be more.
Well, I'm more.
specific.
Yeah, I know one of the guys that made it the year before did not make it last year, but I don't think it was Cooper.
Okay.
So, but Cooper is trying. He told me he's trying to drop down to 172 this year.
Wow.
So
I wish I could get to
yeah,
172.
that would be nice. Ian will probably be up there around not heavyweight, but he'll probably be next weight down, or maybe 190 or whatever the next weight is.
Now, do they have a girls? Did they have enough? For
There
the-
were 2 girls there.
Okay.
And he told me when I took pictures the other day, he told me to come back on Monday because he thinks he's going to have another couple guys come out, and there'll be some more girls.
Oh, good.
I mean, it's a bad week to start practice.
Right.
I mean, some of them are probably. I went to shoot the girls' basketball team, shoot pictures
Good. Yeah,
of the
okay.
girls' basketball team last week, and they were missing a couple already because they were one was on a trip, so it was like they take off early. I mean, I'm glad they're good in school where they can do that, I guess, but yeah, so I have to retake some photos, but
Well, it's got to be tough for families. I know, the schedule of vacation. You're done with one sport, and another one starts right away. It's tough to. So I hope like you said, they'll all be back from vacation, ready to go, so we can go take new pictures.
so I think does it for the high school.
Good.
College men went 0-2 in Wapaton last weekend. He's got a numbers issue.
Did they get Wapaton in Wapaton?
Yeah, yeah, like they get Lambeaued in Lambeau.
Yeah.
So, but he figures he's going to have at least 9 to 10 players by the time December 1st rolls around.
Good.
But he's got injuries and transcript issues and stuff
Academic
like that.
issues.
Yeah, well, no, not necessarily academic right now. That'll happen as the semester
Grades come
ends.
out. Yeah.
So hopefully, they're on top of that and they don't lose anybody to grades. So hopefully he gets a full, because the way he sounds, it's like he's got a pretty decent team
Good.
if he's got most of his guys there. So they should be fun to watch. I know some guys have been scoring 30 points, high 20s, making 6 or 7 3-pointers a game. So
Wow.
it'll be interesting to see what happens. that should take care of that. Pros, where do we want to start?
Well, I want to start with the Kansas City Chiefs, and why did they get all the calls? Because that should have been a personal foul on that first one to our quarterback, and they don't call it when he fumbled.
You mean Denver?
Did I say?
You said Kansas City.
Well, Kansas City, because I watched them the other night too, and they get all the calls.
They get all the calls too. Well, you know what? The guy just came off a 2-game suspension,
And he gets a
and
headshot.
now he's on a 4-game suspension. But it wasn't a penalty.
So where's the flag?
Huh? Well,
And you can't fault the Minnesota defense. At least in my mind, you can't fault the Minnesota defense. They played very well. I think some of the blame for the loss should go towards the head coach. Because you do have a lead, and all of a sudden you want to try to run the ball up the middle, and you can't get more than a yard all game long. Just continue with the game plan that got you the scoring in the first place, and let the chips fall where they may. Why change your offensive thinking because you got a lead? I just don't understand that.
well, the Madison fumble probably was the killer fumble,
Yep.
and that I don't think he did. I don't watch the game, so I don't know. Did he either get hit on that or did he not get hit?
The guy reached in and
And he's got to hang on to the ball.
Yep.
If he wants to play, I know I think this was only his second fumble of the year, but he's also had some nasty drops in
right.
the passing game. But hang on to the football. That's your job. Hang on to the football.
Well, they still got an 80% chance of making the playoffs.
Well, they do, but you're talking the one with Dobbs getting hit with the helmet blow, leading with the helmet. Number one, we don't lose the football. And number two, it's a 15-yard penalty.
Yep.
And who knows where that puts them at that point, what side of the field they're on.
Right.
They might score there. They might get a field goal.
Yep.
And we'd get the ball back as far as the penalty goes. So, but they can't have Minnesota beat Denver. I'm sorry, you want to be conspiracy theories.
Yeah, no.
No, you got to have Denver there.
Yeah, the call came in from Vegas again.
Yeah, because what's his name? Sean Payton's the coach, and you got to have him in the playoffs, evidently.
He is one guy that should have been blackballed from football after the New Orleans scandal with the Vikings and how they did things down there. And yet here he's
And it's happening again here
Denver.
in Denver. I mean, this guy, this safety or whatever he is, has no regard for anybody's safety in that league when he's leading with his head. I mean, well, you heard Tom Brady's comments yesterday.
the football. What did he say?
He thinks it's mediocre at best
Yep.
because you can't be protecting players. It's not the defensive guy's job to protect the offensive player. The offensive player should protect himself. But how are you going to protect yourself when a guy's coming in with his head first?
Yeah, 220 pounds coming at your head first.
I mean, come on, Tom. You were the recipient of so many calls when you played, just like Aaron Rodgers and the rest of them.
Hey, he'll be back.
Yeah, well, he says he's coming back. We'll see.
And there's a great story that they did on John Madden. I don't know if anyone remembers when Darryl Stingley was injured and by I can't think of his name now. Guy from Oakland.
Oh, well, yeah, I know what you're talking about.
But how John Madden, who was the coach of Oakland at the time, took Darryl Stingley under his wing and just kind of took him as a son and kept in touch with him and helped support him through the deal. So you get a chance to look it up on YouTube or whatever they call it, eTube or YTube or whatever they call it. So,
But yeah, so don't sit there and be the righteous person right now when you got all the calls when you were playing quarterback. And
he can do that now because he's got no 300-pound lineman chasing him down.
no. I don't disagree with him necessarily with what he said, but that's you can't protect yourself when a guy's coming at you. First off, Dobbs was like being held by two guys,
Yeah.
so he couldn't protect himself. And then this guy comes a free shot at him, and they don't call a penalty. And there was another one in the game too, I think, that deserved a penalty that wasn't called.
And they're so afraid to hit anybody that with these personal fouls, hitting the quarterback, roughing the quarterback. The guy pushes him, he falls. Oh, there's a flag flying out.
No, if Brady's talking about that, that's part of the thing where I agree with him. I mean, you can't have a head hit
No.
to the head. You don't want to hit him in the head. But all these quarterbacks are going down.
No.
I mean, you talk about the Vikings, a winnable schedule. I mean, Chicago. No, you got Vegas.
Yep.
You got Green Bay that are coming up, so that could be 9 wins right there for them. And then everybody thought the Cincinnati game was one of those
Yep.
what-if games, and now Burrow's gone.
Yep.
And so now maybe that's 4 games they win, and then they just have the 2 against the Lions left.
And they're only, what, 2 games behind the
Well,
Lions?
they're
right now?
they're
3
already
games?
conceding the north to the Lions, but hey,
Hey, hats off to the Lions. They're playing great football.
yeah, but I don't know if I'd hand it to them yet,
Huh?
because Chicago would have, could have, and should have probably should have won that game,
Yeah.
but they went to tank after leading by what, I don't know what they were up by, but they must have got too conservative.
And Love had the Green Bay quarterback had his first 300, or the first quarterback in Green Bay for the last, 2 years, they had 300 yards throwing. So, hey, who knows what, like you said, the teams are pretty well matched in the Northern Division. I mean, there's no really predominantly strong team. So,
No, and there's none of those other 2 teams or whatever there is in there. It's are going to probably catch the Vikings,
Right.
unless something seriously goes wrong.
well, they'll go to Green Bay. Green Bay will have a chance to catch them, and then Green Bay will get all the calls.
Well, no, that game's here.
Was it here?
That game's here.
Oh, I thought it was there. I'm sorry. Okay.
Because they played
Sorry,
there
Kerry.
earlier. So yeah, it's
All right.
Hey, Wild
Ugh.
better start waking up and kicking it into gear a little
Yeah.
bit.
Timberwolves are playing well.
Timberwolves are on top of the West,
Yep.
so good for them. That Gobert Towns thing is starting to work.
Yep.
They obviously couldn't get it going last year because Towns missed 50 some games.
Right.
So that kind of put a crimp in it. But
Williams is playing. Their whole team's playing very well.
yeah, Ant is playing like a superstar still. Like I say, Towns is the last 2 weeks has really picked up his game.
I think he accepted his role, and had, again, good coaching, I guess.
No.
To be able to work the 2 or the 3 of them together.
I would I hope this doesn't take long, but when he first got the job, Fitch, I was wondering, does this guy know what he's getting into? Because I didn't think Naz Reid was that good. I didn't think Vanderbilt was that good. I didn't think McDaniels was that good. And they couldn't shoot a 3 to save their lives 2 years ago or whatever it was when he got the job. But hey, he's done it. Chris has done a good job with that team, and
There's no I in team, right?
no, they're playing well. And Naz and Jared proved me wrong. Not that I know them personally, but
Speaking of nods, we just got the nods. So.
nod, yeah. So they're playing well.
Thank you
Well,
all. Happy Thanksgiving to
Yeah,
everybody.
happy Thanksgiving for Mike Egan. I'm Gary Gimbetti. We'll see you again next week on Home Team Advantage.
For over 25 years, U.S. Bank, located at 211 East Howard Street in Hibbing, Minnesota, has provided office and studio space for Hibbing Public Access Television. We are thankful for their ongoing support.